morning, everyone, and welcome to Minerals, Rocks, and Fossil Talks. I'm your paleontology teacher, Jen, and today is Fossil Friday. We're going to talk a little bit about Brachiosaurus altithorax. Woo! Another one of our well-known Morrison sauropods, Brachiosaurus has captured the imaginations of many for over a century with its incredible size. And it doesn't hurt that Jurassic Park featured this amazing opening scene with a Brachiosaurus. So, or introduction scene, I should say, not opening, but you get my drift. That was an epic scene, and still is even today. Brachiosaurus was found in 1900 by Elmer S. Riggs in the Fruta, Colorado area near the Colorado River. He chose the name because it means armed lizard with a deep chest. Apt name if you ask me. Here he is next to the holotype humerus. Riggs worked for the Field Columbian Museum, which is now known as the Field Museum of Natural History of Chicago. So fairly well-known museum. Riggs was actually looking for Eocene mammals. That was his specialty. But then he was directed by locals to this area where there was dinosaur bones, so he thought he'd go check it out. And he did not expect to find the biggest thing they had up to date. So that was pretty exciting. Now, as you can see, we really don't have a ton of material from Brachiosaurus. It's actually not as well known scientifically as it is just generally. In fact, most of what we know is from Giraffatitan, its cousin in the Tendaguru Formation of Africa. So from the sister formation to the Morrison. And they did believe that it was Brachiosaurus until about 1991 when it was officially put into its own genus. So we thought we knew a lot about Brachiosaurus, and then it turns out not really. This is all we got. But despite the apparent lack of material, there have been bones described from Colorado, Oklahoma, Utah, and Wyoming as belonging to the genus Brachiosaurus. The holotype itself, so that means the first skeleton that was described, it consists of a right humerus, a right femur, a right ilium, the right coracoid, the sacrum, 7 dorsal vertebrae, 2 caudal vertebrae, and several ribs. So it looks like the right side probably was what fell into the river, and the left side probably got scavenged and pulled apart and all of that. Some of it probably got pulled down river. The deposits there, while a lot of the bones have been found in this sort of clay layer, some of them towards the ends where things start to disappear are in a sandstone, so it looks like the river kind of pulled parts of it away. And there is Diplodocus material that got pushed into this animal, which further corroborates the river channel moving things around. So our poor dinosaur did not get buried fast enough to be completely preserved. So in 1883, Marshall Parker Felch, that is a mouthful, one of the field hands who worked for Othniel Charles Marsh, found a sauropod skull in Garden Park, Colorado, and it got incorporated into the Brontosaurus skeleton at the Yale Peabody Museum. If you want to hear more about that, check out the post I made yesterday. It's a very entertaining story. A part of that is probably because it was found near where this Brontosaurus was found. Makes sense to say, hey, this skull probably belongs to it. But in 1975, a couple of paleontologists said it actually looked more like a Camarasaurus skull than it did a diplodocid skull. And so one of them brought it to the attention of Kenneth Carpenter, who is a well-known paleontologist here in Utah. and a colleague, Virginia Tidwell. In 1998, they tentatively assigned those skull fragments to a species of Brachiosaurus. Since there's no overlapping elements with the holotype, they can't say that it's altithorax, even if we only have the one species identified at this point. The problem is our holotype did not contain a skull, and all they had was the skull. So they can say, yeah, it could fall in this genus, but they can't necessarily assign it to the species, which is unfortunate. This diagram shows you in white which pieces they had. Everything else has been reconstructed from Giraffatitan. So it'd be super rad to find a full Brachiosaurus skull and see how close it actually is to Giraffatitan. There are some possible dorsal vertebrae from the dry mesa quarry of Colorado that could belong to Brachiosaurus. Not entirely sure at this point. And there's possibly a nearly complete juvenile from the Bighorn Basin of Wyoming. But it could be something else. They're hesitant to say it belongs to that entirely. And there's possibly a foot from the Black Hills of Wyoming. But again, it's a really tentative placing. So as you can see, it'd be super rad to have Brachiosaurus material at the dig site that I work at. And it's quite possible that we do. So we have this massive rib, and we actually collected part of it. So this top part is actually gone. This rib goes along that length. It keeps diving into the hillside, which is down below me. We've got about 3 meters exposed, and we still don't know where the end is. That's a really big freaking rib, in case you're wondering. We're hoping to get the rest of it out this year, and we have lots and lots of students this year, so that should really help in the removal. This is right next to our rib. It's possibly part of the scapular coracoid. Again, it's diving like straight into the rock here, so we haven't been able to, and there's been a lot of fragile stuff sitting on top of this. There is a definite channel that was running over the top of this that kind of shattered everything that was in that particular layer. So we're trying to clear off the top of that just slowly, because there may be something still worth saving on top of that, but we don't know, really, to see if we can even uncover enough to figure out where the heck this thing ends. It's big, though. I mean, I tried really hard, but I don't think I managed to even get all of it widthwise into this photo. Big boy. We also took out an articulated sequence of caudal vertebrae. I could not find the pictures that I took of them, though. Otherwise, I'd show you, but they were gorgeous. And if I ever do find them again, I will definitely let you guys see, because they were in exquisite condition, because, again, they were also diving into the rock, and so they got prettier and prettier the further they went down. All of these are in the same general area. I mean, this is technically sitting on top of the rib. So we're kind of hoping that we've got a skull buried somewhere in this hillside, and that would be super freaking awesome. Yeah, so that's a little bit about Brachiosaurus. If you want to know more about our dig site, I will be heading out there in 2 weeks. I plan to be doing live recordings while I'm at the site, so you can see what we're up to. So make sure you tune in this July and see what kind of cool stuff we're pulling out in Colorado. And maybe next year you can join us, because we're always looking for students and for those who are interested in just learning how to be a paleontologist. So I will see you all Monday when we talk about Brachiosaurus' family, Macronaria, and I will fossilize you later.